It's Battle of the Bands audition. There's a bunch of judges. They look real hip. Thank you, aggrieved brethren. Metal band leaves the stage. Next is Katie and John. Snicker, snicker, we're judging. John walks on stage looking cocky. Katie walks on looking absolutely frightened. She's quite nervous. Snicker, snicker, judge, judge, judge. Close-up shots of how awkward she looks. John walks over. Hey, it's gonna be great. He raises his pick in the air and begins to play a gentle melody on his guitar. And then Katie begins to sing. And she's absolutely fantastic. They sit forward in their seats completely aghast. Suddenly, something amazing happens. As John walks behind her, the beat begins to pick up, and he multiplies. Well, what? Into 3 separate Johns. One on the guitar, one on the drums, and one on the keyboard. The music begins to pick up as each instrument starts joining the melody. The judges sit aghast when suddenly, Fire Girl bursts into flames. She realizes that she's not hurt, begins to play with fireballs, and accidentally throws one to Ice Guy, who erupts into ice in response. He, in excitement, touches his friend, who teleports in response. Teleport Girl realizes exactly how cool this is and begins teleporting all about the room. She teleports into the air, realizing that she can kind of fly, only to meet up with Fly Guy, who actually can fly and has wings. It is incredibly annoying. Shots of the singers in music video-esque style. He flies into a truss because he can't control his powers. The truss falls on Strength Girl, who actually catches it, realizes once again how cool this is, and starts throwing it from hand to hand and balancing it, etc., having fun. We see a handsome boy standing next to Snow Guy, who's throwing snow about the room. Fire Guy flies by, and all the snow turns to ice. Fly Guy is annoying. A foxy girl stands with no powers apparently until her stomach opens up and eats Fly Guy. Once again, more shots of singing. Teleport Girl teleports on stage, having ridiculous amounts of fun and looking really cool doing it. Goes backstage, meets up with aggrieved brethren, nanny boo-boos them, and leaves. Aggrieved brethren hears the music, and they change into their various forms. Insert key change, and insert headbanging, and other forms of punkery. Spiderhead Skinhead Spiderhead jumps into the audience, begins scuttling about, and ends up scuttling next to Strength Girl, who is completely alarmed and ends up dropping the truss into a wall, where all of the people outside the building hear the music, develop powers, and come into the room. Skinhead Skullhead jumps into the ground where there's a crater. The camera pans up to see Goblin Skinhead hanging off the chandelier, which breaks and falls to the ground. And then suddenly we're in a slow motion scene that establishes Mimic Girl and her observing of the handsome boy. She slowly starts to walk toward him, absolutely enamored, and as she does, in slow motion, other characters fly past as the chaos increases in the scene. She develops all their powers, including being covered with hair, meets up with handsome boy. Oh, look, she's so pretty. And then they totally make out. The fireworks and stars and hearts falling about them turn out to be the product of someone's dandruff. A series of shots. Crazy things happening. Ridiculous powers, including filing cabinet man. Katie stops singing. Her song is over. Everyone looks at her, loses all their powers. Stare at her aghast. People are hurt. There are limbs missing. Teleport Girl stuck to a flagpole. They stare at her expectantly. She misunderstands the situation, thinks they're angry at her. Mimic Girl discovers that handsome boy's power was becoming handsome. He's actually quite ugly. Katie feels really upset about the entire thing, sees the destruction that she has caused, and ends up leaving the stage. John, of course, is now one person, covered with all the instruments that he had been playing. Very exhausted from all of his efforts. Wait, no, come back, they all say. A moment passes over them. Someone says, "Really? That's it?" Oh, and Fly Guy is regurgitated back out of Stomach Monster Girl. Our most loathed character, Fly Guy, starts bicycling home. He's covered in bandages, hopefully ones that look very painful. He begins to hum the song that we had previously heard, and he starts flying, which is like really incredible, right? But he begins to forget the tune, starts to falter, and then of course crashes his bicycle, which pleases everyone because, God, we just hate that guy.